Item number 4, also, I just wanted to recognize the fire departments that responded to the explosion fire at the Navidad site in Weldon, formerly 3575. Crockett, Weldon, Lovelady, and Alstonia responded and did an admirable job. I talked to the Navidad representative, and he was extremely grateful for the support that was provided to them. Another issue that's out there is the cockaded woodpecker, red-headed woodpecker prescribed burning project in the National Forest. I just had this placed for your attention so that you can respond to it if you decide to. It's a 1 to 5 year burn cycle on 69,000 acres. The ESIA, the environmental assessment for the burning project's been completed and addresses 2 alternatives, and you can respond to it on that website. So just that information for you guys. Anything else? Any other information that needs to come out? Okay. Recognition of guests. I see a bunch of folks here. George Krausen Jr. Coming. Jim Hall. Dr. Allen. Nice to have you. Dr. Parsons with Mel Brown Associates. Jack
Soft-Reagan
with the
Public Defender for
Public
Capital.
Defender, right. Anybody else I'm missing?
Judge,
Lonnie Nichols,
Dignitaries from Grapeland, Mayor.
Grapeland Housing
Mayor.
Authority. Oh, I missed you, Mayor. I'm sorry. Mayor Pearson with Grapeland. Thank you.
Judge, this is Joy O'Connor.
Hi, Julie. I've met you. I didn't have your name. I'm sorry. Good to have you here. Barbara.
I'm not a guest, I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
I'm a fixture.
Anyway, we'll move forward. Next item on the agenda is the consider approval of the salaries of new and/or transfer employees, 2 part-time jailers and 2 full-time jailers and deputies. Chief?
Yes, sir. We've had quite a few changes. We've lost a few people, and we need to hire some extra people. We've actually hired Billy Christian and Sterling Cole to fill in part-time jailer slots because we lost 2 permanent jailers to go elsewhere. And Austin Roberts and John Turner were part-timers that are going to move up into full-time. And then Deputy Carroll left to go to the county attorney's office, and we hired Rocky Hope to take his position. And he came out of jail.
Jump it all around.
Yeah, switching them all around.
Hines 57.
Move for approval.
Second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Approved. Next item on the agenda is the, and this is just for discussion, this is the road permit that we had. I met with Judge Henson, Judge Henson in Madison County a couple of weeks ago, and he gave me one of their special road use permits. And the only difference that I see in that permit as opposed to ours is that in Article 6, they have a requirement for posting surety bond and commercial umbrella liability insurance policy. So it's something that we need to just consider and review, and we may take it up for action later.
Also, Judge, their weight specs are way lower than ours are. Because we changed ours a long time ago.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
They've got 10,000 pounds.
30,000 total and 10,000.
I think we're at 58,000. The reason we changed it because it was exempt certain bobtail trucks from the permitting system.
Any questions on that?
Could I address that a little bit?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it very much. I'll take your time. Probably a lot of things people don't know. I'm Jim Hall, landowner for about 50 years, settled timber in Houston County, Louisiana, and other places. I also serve on the legislative committee for Texas Forestry Association, and also belong to Houston County Forest Landowners Association. And some of that's about 3,000 representatives who talk about things happening in Austin. As you know, it's in session now, and everything they do over there is very, very important. We met last Thursday in the legislative session. The subject you're on now was representatives from literally every 44 counties in East Texas, including our head small lobbyist, who's with a law firm in Austin. Our executive director, who spends about 90% of his time now in Austin during the executive session. And the things that interest as a whole, all the landowners in our part of the world that are involved in timber. Some of the debate lasted on this subject over 2 hours. And you think, how in the world could that happen? Well, it's a very important issue to people who are making their living out of forestry, particularly as we talk about weights and measures and so on. The loggers are a big issue. They're hurting very bad. Most of the loggers are out of business in East Texas, in fact, the whole South. Until timber prices or lumber prices come up again, it will probably continue that way. So every time you hit one of these guys with a little more fees and so on, it really hurts their families and everything that they do, and it also hurts wherever they're operating. Something that in the discussion that wasn't brought out till I had a couple of landowners. I'm one of the 2 landowners that serve on the committee. The only money that's generated, the only capital that's generated comes from the landowners. And I hope I'm not wasting your time here, Judge, because I think it's important. The landowners pay taxes on that property for forestry every year. And you might say, well, you got the forestry land, that's a lot. Well, you got powers of eminent domain that one across 500-acre tract I got, there's 4 pipelines, 2 power lines. I raise forestry on that property. How much forestry do you think I can plant on all that eminent domain? Not one bit. Yet my taxes on that land are the same as if I was raising forestry. My taxes that are on the roads that join me for over a mile, that I pay taxes on, in my case, half of that road, which I never can grow forestry on. So it's called a production tax. Got land across the road, to raise cattle on, it's $80 an acre. The timber is based on about $300 an acre. It can vary depending on a somewhat complex algorithm that does that calculation every year. If anybody wants to go into that, I'd be glad to sometime. But it gets down to something that in that 2-hour discussion, we've been informed that without any question, your fees are going up in Austin. There's a lot of discussion on what do we want to compromise on to do that and what level. But without question, the fees in our area are going up. To some cases, as far as being doubled. Well, we can talk and compromise on that. One is it's going to happen, so that's a lot of discussion going on. But one of the discussions which we pay for that lobbyist, yours truly, a lot of us, our contributions and so on, it does not come out of any fees from the landowners as far as the association is concerned, because we can't do that involving politics except through what's called a 4-pack, as Forestry Political Action Committee. So it's not the money that you belong to the Texas Forestry Association that goes into that political arena.
Jim,
Yeah.
what's your role in this? What are we looking to do here? What are you discussing on this? What's the issue is higher fees on the
The issue are higher fees, but the logging people are the biggest issue here, and fees are on them.